Good morning. My name is Bruce Landry, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Unity Bay Area Houston's Sunday celebration. We're so happy that you have joined us today. Unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. Unity honors the universal truths in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. Together, let's celebrate today's affirmation. I broaden my perspective of prosperity. Please share our Sunday services and events through your social media of choice.
This is a real simple chorus. You might have heard it, so when we get there, I'd like you to sing with me. When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. 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 Let's do it again. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When holy water was rare at best, barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. 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 Let's do it again. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. There used to be a world half there, heaven second rate, hand me down. I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. 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 Come on, like you mean it. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Okay, now like you're Baptist. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Come on, stand up. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. One more, here we go. Everything is holy now. 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 All right, thanks for singing.
All right. right, let us begin our service together as we affirm our statement of truth. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in me, God the good omnipotence. Prayer is the basis on which unity was founded. Our prayer chaplains pray for your requests for 30 days. Your prayers are also sent to Silent Unity to be prayed for at the same time, and thus our expression, well, that's double prayer power. We have prayer request forms at a new location in the foyer. Eugenia Moorfield and Sarah Thompson are our prayer chaplains today. Sarah will offer one-on-one prayer after the service in the prayer room for those who would like to pray in person back there. Eugenia will be leading us in a group prayer. For our digital viewers, if you have a prayer request, please click the button Request Prayer in your bulletin or leave a private message through Facebook Messenger. Now let's join Eugenia in prayer.
Dear sisters and brothers, I want us to unite in the grace of God. I want us to feel the light of God over us, feeling the divine intervention that He's sending to us to give us strength, to give us hope, and above everything else, to give us love. We all love our people, the world, and the love is anywhere that we go. And as I speak, I would like you to think about those loved ones in your life. It might be your children, it might be your parents, it might be your brothers, it might be your sisters, or perhaps somebody who really does not like you. And at this moment, we concentrate with this prayer, and we wish the best to each one of them, especially to those ones that in your heart you know that they need the guidance, they need the love, they need the support from our God, from the universe. So it's okay to hold hands, but I understand that if you don't, it's fine. Be here, be with your prayer, and feel free to say the name if you feel that saying it will manifest better in what you are asking. Be there. Be there with God. Be there at the universe. Be with everything in the world. Wonderful. God has listened to you, and whatever you asked, it will be manifested according to what is best for this person or people or country or situation. May God bless you today. May God bless you all. And always remember every minute of your life that God loves you. Amen.
Thank you, Eugenia. This week's announcements and all links to participate can be found in your Sunday e-bulletin sent this morning at 7 a.m. For our in-person folks today, please visit the connection table in the foyer to show your interest. Reverend Greg Tamblyn is our special guest today. After the service, please stick around to enjoy light snacks and attend his concert at 12:30, entitled Analog Mind in a Digital Age. Big fun for everyone. $20 suggested offering in the bookstore. No one is turned away. For those who know they are ready to join Unity Bay Area Houston and become voting members by our February 26th annual meeting, there are two scheduling options. Tuesday, January 31st at 7 p.m., or Saturday, February 4th at 10 a.m. These are formal classes with Reverend Kira that will bring you into the sacred spirit of unity. We are invited to join the League City Regional Chamber of Commerce on February 1st from 11:30 to 1 for our State of Faith luncheon. They are joined by different leaders of faith in our regional area, sharing the impact of faith going forward. Asia Center, Congregation Beth Yesharon, South Lake Church, Unity Bay Area, Houston, and League City United Methodist Church. The discussion will be led by Kim Mabry from Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston. If you're interested to learn and develop this year, we hope you'll be able to learn more about this personal journey as well as each group's impact in our regional community. This event is hosted by University of Houston Clear Lake. Food is sponsored by Whiskey Cake Baybrook. Register on Facebook on the League City Regional Chamber of Commerce page or by clicking the button in your email's bulletin. Now, get ready to party. We are excited about our Valentine's soiree with Stogood on Saturday night, February 11th. This church fundraising gala will feature heavy hors d'oeuvres, a concert, and silent auction. Save the date, tell your friends, and get your tickets today.
Hey there, Unity Bay Area, Houston.
I'm Stowe Daly.
Yes, and I'm Karen Taylor Good.
Together, we are Stowe Good. And we're in Nashville, Tennessee. But soon we're going to be headed your way for a special pre-Valentine's Day weekend.
Yes, on Saturday evening, February the 11th, we're going to have a very fun soiree. What is a soiree, Stowe?
The New Oxford Dictionary says an evening party or gathering for conversation and music.
Yes, but that's not all.
No.
There will also be fancy food.
Fancy beverages.
Alcoholic?
Yeah, and non.
And non.
And a silent auction.
Oh yes, with some really cool auction items, including
a song written by us for you.
Yes, it can be to honor a loved one, a special occasion.
We'll work with you to create a truly unique and memorable gift.
So this is a fundraiser for this fabulous church, and the evening will culminate.
Great word.
It is. What does it mean, though, Stowe?
The Oxford English Dictionary says to reach a climax or point of highest development.
Oh, so the soiree will climax with a concert by us.
Yes, but most importantly, what does one wear to a soiree?
What does one wear to a soiree, Stowe?
Beverly Hills Magazine suggests, when in doubt, always come overdressed.
So buy your tickets now. We hope you'll come.
With a date.
Or by yourself.
Overdressed.
Or underdressed.
It'll be a joyous, love-filled evening.
It will. See you soon.
Woo.
Please join me for our vision, mission, values, and affirmation. Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is to inspire minds, awaken hearts, and empower lives through the teachings of Jesus Christ and other expressions of universal truth. In all that we are, in all that we live, we value unconditional love, connection, authenticity, inclusivity, trust, and compassion. We are living relevant spirituality now. Now, let's center in and join Roger Moorfield in the Daily Word.
Wow. So happy to see y'all here, my dear sisters and brothers. The word of the day is prosperity. The affirmation, I broaden my perspective of prosperity. Would y'all repeat that with me, please? Again, I broaden my perspective of prosperity. When I think of prosperity, I may think of financial wealth or my possessions. I may even feel tempted to compare my life to someone else's and feel as though I come up short in comparison. Today, my understanding of prosperity grows. Feeling safe and secure in who I am is prosperity. Knowing I am gloriously made in the image of God is priceless. Realizing the abundance of the natural world and partaking of it is a gift. All of these are wonderful reminders I reside in the kingdom of heaven. The more I appreciate the riches of the material world, the more aware I am of my greatest prosperity, my oneness with God. And from the Gospel of Matthew, the words of Jesus, look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And that's from Matthew chapter 6, verse 26.
Thank you, Roger. Your presence here today is precious to us all. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm just curious, how many of y'all have enjoyed our labyrinth out back? Well, somebody's noticed, huh? We are excited that some folks are joining us for the very first time. If you are here for the first time, please raise your hand. All right. We have something we would like to give you that tells you a little bit more about us, and mostly we would love to welcome you. If you would like more information about our community and unity teachings, you may connect with a greeter after the service. And if you're here for a second or third time, please raise your hand. Together, let's share our welcoming blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Once again, we love to connect you to our amazing events and encourage you to fill out the short survey on the right-hand side. This little brochure, you fill in that information. And if you see someone with a red unity heart, please welcome these newcomers after the service. Now, center in to receive today's daily word. Oh, I was just following the script before I said it.
I can do it again.
Obviously, I wouldn't listen. All right, our guest speaker and musician this morning is Greg Tamblyn, NCW. That's no credentials whatsoever. Greg Tamblyn combines a lifetime of interest in consciousness and wellness with an irreverent sense of humor. His songs and stories range from deeply spiritual to outrageously funny, including A Brief History of God and Self-Employment Made Harder by a Difficult Boss. Many of Greg's songs have won awards, including a recent Lifetime Achievement Award at the Empower Music Awards, the Grammys of Positive Music. We'll get to hear some of these award-winning songs in his talk and also later in his comedy concert. Greg performs internationally for a wide variety of groups interested in wellness. He has written and recorded 7 CDs plus a book of true stories that open the heart and tickle the funny bone. He is also the creator of the popular joke game Milk Snort. This is a game that lets everybody experience the joy of telling really funny jokes. They are all available here today at his table in the back of the sanctuary. Greg's ongoing mission in life is saving the world from whiny victim love songs. Let's welcome Reverend Greg Tamblyn.
Thank you. Do you, Carol, do you need me moved over for video?
The center.
Okay.
Would have been nice. That's what we were trying to do. Thank you.
I'll be happy to move. I tell you what, I can't wait to tell Karen Taylor Good and Stowe Daly that they were my opening act. Those gals are good friends of mine, and they are so much fun. I wish I could be here in a couple of weeks. So thank you for having me back. It's been a long time. I'm really, really happy to see you here and be with you. You know, it's been 3 years of kind of being cooped up, not being able to get out and do this. And so it's such a joy to be back on the road and in front of people and hugging and connecting, and I really, really appreciate it. I want to thank Reverend Kara for having me. I want to thank everybody for making me feel welcome. I forget all the names. There's so many people have been so nice, introduced themselves, especially Ellen, who I don't think is here yet, but Ellen did a lot of the heavy lifting to make this happen. So thank you, Ellen. Thank all of you. All right, so I want to share some thoughts with you about the sacred and the silly as pathways to the joy of now. And to get into this, what I'd like to do is actually go back about 800 years around the world, the ancient Persia and the Sufi mystic poets that were writing then. A lot of us are familiar with Rumi, was that right? And some of us are probably familiar with Rumi's contemporary, Hafez. How many of us know Hafez? I see some heads nodding. So if you don't know Hafez, I highly recommend you get a book of his poems. He's very profound, very beautiful like Rumi, but he's also frequently really whimsical. And 800 years ago, Hafez said this. What is the difference of your experience of life between you and a saint? The saint knows that the spiritual pathway is a sublime chess game with God, and that the beloved has just made such a fantastic move that the saint is now tripping over joy, bursting out in laughter and saying, "I surrender." Whereas, my dear, I'm afraid you still think you have 1,000 serious moves. It was good, isn't it? Yeah, and I can relate to this really well because 30 years ago, life got really serious for me really fast. I got into a lot of trouble mentally and emotionally and physically and spiritually. It was a very, very dark, scary time. A low point. Anybody had a low point? Just curious, right. So if you've been down there, you know how it jumpstarts your motivation. And so I was looking at my life and I was trying to figure out what happened and come up with some kind of excuse. So this is what I figured out. This is called Just a Little Soul Hanging Out in Space. Well, I was just a little soul hanging out in space, getting ready to come into the human race. And God came over and he said to me, "Well, kid, what you want to be? Yeah, it's time for you to go get a life. But you don't have to have no struggle or strife. You can live a life of comfort and ease, worldly pleasures. Do as you please. I can give you parents with lots of money. Southern California, bright and sunny. tall and handsome, a movie star. Sexy parties, expensive cars, or maybe an athlete with rhythm and grace. You could do the Olympics, win every race. Confidence just oozing from you, and the women, they're gonna love you. Or maybe you'd like to help those in low places, like a Peace Corps worker, Mother Teresa. But you know, when it's all said and done, being the Pope is a lot more fun. Or how about a yogi with magical powers? You could levitate for hours and hours and teach everybody to walk on hot coals and sell books and CDs by the truckloads. Now what do you say, kid? You make the call. You can have any part or you can have it all. You just tell me what you want to be and I'll give it to you. It's my guarantee, yeah. Well, I just stood there with my mouth open because, you know, that's just what I'd been hoping. But while I was deciding to choose which one, I thought, well, maybe I'll just have me some fun. Because me and God, see, we're pretty tight. And I know God likes a good joke, all right. So I figure I'll pull his leg for a while, see if I can't make the old boy smile. So I say, Father o' mine, you know, all that glory, to tell you the truth, sounds kind of boring. I want a life with some challenge to it. You know, something I gotta work to get through it. I don't want fame and easy success. I want to be shamed and easily depressed. With various physical and mental afflictions. You might as well throw in multiple addictions. I don't need life to be a sweet dream. I want writer's block and low self-esteem, sensitive skin and food allergies, and when I get around girls, make me sneeze. Make me wish that I had more height, give me claustrophobia, stage fright, prone to worry, riddled with doubt, thinking I'll never figure life out. Yeah, that's it, God. That's what I want to have. And then I just shut up so he could laugh. Well, God looked at me with a puzzled brow, shook his head and just said, "Holy cow." For a minute he stood there pulling his beard, and then he said, "Kid, you're pretty darn weird. And I know you're just playing the fool, but this time, kid, the joke's on you." And then he grinned at me and he yelled, "Shazam!" And that's my story, and here I am. I'm glad you could relate. You know, Will Rogers said if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing is stop digging. And that's so true, because we have to have some awareness, some consciousness around what we think about all day. We've learned that here in Unity, because it tends to manifest, it tends to show up. But the good news about that is if we own that, if we take responsibility for how our life is, then there's power there, right? There's hope there. Because if I'm the problem in my life, I'm also what? A problem in everyone else's life. There's an artist. I want to know if you've heard of this artist. He's a painter. His name is Donald Roller Wilson. Anybody heard of him? Nobody? Me neither. But I read about him in the Airline magazine. Can you bring that slide up for us? Thanks. So, can you see that? You can see what he does is very whimsical and gothic and realistic, but this is what he does. He paints pictures of animals, dogs, cats, chimps, dressed up in clothes, doing bizarre things. This is a chimp playing with matches. This is all he paints, these whimsical paintings that are very Gothic looking, realistic looking. He sells these paintings for incredible amounts of money. You know, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a painting. But the reason I saved this was on the back of this photo in the magazine, there's a quote that he has, and I just love this quote. He said, "It takes all the arrogance out of everything you do, and you know that God is so much bigger than you are. And yet, everything you are and see and do is filled with God. The trees, the asphalt, the people fighting over Aquanet at Walmart." He said, that sounds silly. But silliness is just as important as love, just as important as tragedy. You can make a profound intellectual statement just by basing your efforts on silliness. Well, I agree completely. Now, how many of you have seen this Robin Williams movie, Patch Adams? About 20 years ago, Patch Adams, most of us. Anybody besides me had the chance to see the real Patch Adams in person or online or give a talk? So the real Patch Adams is not physically like Robin Williams was. Patch is tall, he's about 6'6", real skinny, he's kind of a beanpole, long gray hair down to mid-thigh, usually half dyed blue or purple. And he dresses like a clown. He dresses like a clown every day, all day. He's a clown doctor, medical doctor. And Patch has figured out that play and silliness and clowning are the ways that he can best inflict love and compassion on the world and everybody that he meets all day. So this is who he is. This is what he does. Now, I've been around Patch a lot. We're at the same kinds of conferences together. We have a lot of mutual friends. And I see the effect that he's having in wellness, in healthcare. This is one person being silly in a profound way, this wave that ripples all around the world. He's almost finished building the first silly hospital, the Gesundheit Institute. It's in West Virginia. You can go volunteer there. Well, one of the things Patch says, I've heard him say more than once, is that he feels like the world is wallowing in misery. And that one of the most radical things you can do is to have a good day. Be happy. Be happy. Choose to be happy. Have a good day. Well, that's not radical to us in Unity. You know, I mean, we teach that. But let me ask you this. We all know that life is serious. If we forget, we turn on the news for 2 minutes and we remember how serious life is. But is there anybody here besides me who's ever had the particular gift or talent of making life even more serious than it already is? I mean, I catch myself overreacting all the time. You know, I can forget everything I've learned in 10 seconds and revert. So I wrote myself a song for this purpose, and maybe this will help you. You can see. This is called Writer's Block, the long-term positive and negative effects of worry. I was worried about not writing any songs. No words, no tunes, nothing for way too long. I was worried I'd never write again. Maybe there was no more ink in my pen. And I thought about that, and I began to feel ashamed. I was ashamed that I'd been worried about not writing. I've been through droughts before and come out fighting. It seemed like my worry was out of control, and I was ashamed about it down to my soul. And then it hit me what I was doing, and I started feeling guilty. I was guilty that I could let myself feel shame over something so insignificant as this writing game. I thought I'd released that stuff long ago, and I was guilty that I had such a long way to go. And then I realized what I was doing, and I got embarrassed. I was embarrassed that my shame could make me feel guilty. All these negative thought patterns, man, it was silly. If someone could see inside my head, they'd give me a drug and put me to bed. Yeah, I was embarrassed, and that made me mad. I was angry that I could be so immature. I was angry at me, down on myself for sure. And as my anger turned into resentment, I thought about what the long-term effects of that meant, and I realized what I was doing to my body, and I began to feel afraid. I was afraid of what I was doing to myself. All these negative emotions affecting my health. If body and mind are so interconnected, my shame, guilt, worry, and fear were making me infected, and I was afraid that I was becoming depressed. And as I began to sink into depression, the effect on my body and mind became an obsession. The outcome of this could not be in doubt. It gave me something new to worry about. I knew that I might not be around for too long, so I wrote it all down and I had a new song. And when I thought about that, I was fine again. Pretty silly. Pretty silly, but there's great joy in that, see? There's great joy in taking something troublesome and limiting and restrictive and turning it inside out or upside down and reframing it with humor so it's not such a big deal anymore. It's a really handy thing to practice, reframing with humor. Both of those songs were about reframing difficult situations with humor. Now they're not such a big deal. And worry is the enemy of joy. Because if we're worried, are we in this moment? No, where are we? Past, future, right, but we're not here. The thing is, it's okay to look at the past and the future, just don't stare. We get in the habit of staring. It's real easy to do because we get a lot of encouragement from our culture to do that. And this afternoon in the comedy concert, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm going to illustrate it quite a bit more and you know, how you can triumph over that, you know, and take control of your feelings in your life and your attitude and all of that with humor. So silliness is a great way to come back to the present, to stop staring at the past and the future and just come back to now. Silliness, playfulness, laughter, humor. I heard Mel Brooks talking about this on 60 Minutes. He said, Socrates told us it's good to know thyself. He said, but I've learned it's way better to now thyself. Now thyself. He said, we need more people living in the now, living every day like this is our last day. Which is why I never have clean clothes, because who would like to do laundry on the last day? Now, all of us knew this when we were 4 years old. We just grow up and we forget. We got a lot of important grown-up stuff to do. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is where? And to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must be like a child. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. But we grow up, we have a lot of important grown-up stuff to do, and we forget, and so it's okay to practice. Now, I'm going to demonstrate this for you. And it's only going to take 3 or 4 seconds. Now, this little demonstration does not require anything from you, no preparation, no practice, no talent, nothing. All you have to do is when I say go, turn and look at somebody close to you, it doesn't matter who, for 3 seconds, and have a contest to see who can make the weirdest face. Ready? Go. Get weird. Come on. You can use your hands. Yeah, some of us are using muscles we haven't used in a while. It's really good. Practice in front of the mirror. So here's the thing. I'm willing to bet for those 3, 4, 5 seconds, nobody in here was thinking about the mortgage. Nobody was thinking about the divorce papers or the test results or anything, whatever might be going on. For those few seconds, we're just hearing this love and this fun and this joy, and that's the reality that we created for that moment, that now. That now is just a minute ago. But you know what's the good thing about living in the now? You can't ever run out. There's always more now later. You can always be in the now. And humor, laughter, silliness, and play are great, great ways to get there. Now, and people ask me all the time, Greg, okay, I'm kind of a serious person. How can I get more humor and play and laughter? And, I am grown up, and I just need some help. What do you suggest? And I say, well, one of the easiest things you can do is to not give a serious answer to any question that doesn't require it. And you discover, if you start this is a comedic practice by almost every comedian, a lot of their humor is based on this. You discover that almost none of the questions you get asked all day long really need a serious answer. You can be playful way more often than you think. So people say, okay, so give me an example. How do I get started? I say, well, what's the most common question you get asked all day long? How you doing? How are you? And what do we normally say? Yeah, fine. Okay. Once in a while we step out on a limb, we go, great. Well, what if instead of that, somebody says, how are you? Well, I'm still getting away with it. Parts of me are excellent. My lawyer said not to answer that. Diagonally parked in a parallel universe. I have pages of answers to this question. How are you? Vertically challenged, horizontally gifted. How are you? Still 80% water. How are you? My DNA says I'm a Neanderthal. How are you? My tattoos are spreading. Let me give you an example of how now let me just say this. If you really commit to this, and by the way, if you go on my website, gregtamblyn.com, in the menu you'll see a listing for the humor blog. If you click on that link, it'll take you to the blog, and there's a blog post in there, how you doing, with a couple dozen great answers to this. And just go there and take 3 or 4, put them in your back pocket, and try them out. Just give yourself that playful, fun opportunity. Okay, so sometimes you're going to do it, and people are going to look at you like you're from Mars. What did you just say to me? And that's okay. You don't care. You're giving yourself permission to be playful, to be in the moment. Now, sometimes you're going to hit a home run. And here's an example. I got on, this wasn't too long before COVID hit, so maybe 3, 4 years ago, I got on Southwest Airlines to fly home from somewhere. I live in Kansas City. And when you get on Southwest Airlines, you board in the galley, and there's always a flight attendant there to make sure you turn right, go to your seat, and not left into the cockpit, because they don't want you in there. So I get on the plane, I got my little rollerboard, and she says, hi, welcome aboard, how are you? I said, I'm hungry. Steak and lobster for lunch? She thought that was pretty funny. She said, sure, how do you like your steak? I said, rare. She said, well, that's good, because any steak on this airline would be extremely rare. And I said, well done. Now, I don't know what that did for her, but it changed my whole day. It changed the whole flight. All of a sudden, I was on this flight with a happy flight attendant who I had shared something fun with, and every time she came down the aisle, we connected and smiled, and it just lifted everything. And so that's the kind of thing that can happen. And even if it doesn't happen, you're still giving yourself permission to be silly and be in the moment. What else? Seems like there was something else. Well, let's just stop there with the silliness. Now, you come to this church, so you're well aware that there are other ways to now thyself. You know about meditation. You know about prayer. You know about gratitude, how powerful that is. You know about service and how powerful that is. You know about powerful feelings of love and connection, about entering into the ways that all of us are connected. These are things that tend to bring us back into the moment. So the one thing I just want to touch on briefly is the experience of the sacred. And what I mean by the sacred is the mystical connotation of this word. Because when I was in trouble 30 years ago, and I was down in that black hole of despair and so terrified I would never get out, that I would never just feel okay again, one of the things I did was I went back to reading mystics and descriptions of the mystical experience, because I'd gotten away from that for a long time. So I rediscovered these descriptions of the mystical experience of joining with God. And what I'm talking about here is merging with God so completely, so totally, that in our consciousness, there's only God. There's nothing else. Everything is God. The little self disappears, and there's only the big self. And the mystics that have experienced this have written about it in beautiful, descriptive language, but it's very similar from mystic to mystic to mystic. You recognize the vocabulary, rapture, nirvana, bliss, ultimate bliss, cosmic consciousness, ecstasy, words like this. And the mystics that have achieved this state, and then for some reason, whenever they fall out of this state, the only thing they want is to get back there. That's all they care about. So, what I want to do is just kind of combine a little singing, chanting, prayer, and meditation together in a little 5-minute segment that we can participate in and go down that road together just a little ways. So I'm going to play a little piece of music. This is a song called Heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. Anybody know this song? Some of you do. So I'm just going to sing that part. There's several parts, but I'm just going to sing that part and repeat it several times. And if you know it and you want to sing along, that's great. And once you hear it and you learn it, you want to sing along, that's great. And then we'll get quiet with it and we'll go into meditation, and I'll share some really beautiful words with you that I picked up, I learned in China actually a long time ago. Okay, so. Here's the words. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with hum it together. Now just silently. Just let your eyes close, relax, and listen. Let all things be healthy. Let all things be peaceful. Be sure to count your blessings at least once a day. Forgive those who have hurt you and those who have offended you. But forgive yourself for what you have done and for that which you have failed to do. That which is done, there is no need to speak of. That which is past, there is no need to blame. Have self-control, self-knowledge, self-respect, and the courage to dare. Be tranquil. The light of intelligence will shine. And strive to make a spot where you stand beautiful. Then the beauty and harmony will follow you in all your days and in all your ways. On this journey we call life. Now let's hum it together. Softly, I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. Father, I am one with God. Just breathe that in. Just take a nice big breath. Feel the oneness with God just permeate you. And just give yourself a little permission, a little reminder to take this feeling with you, this peace, this feeling of being settled, connected, to keep it with you all day, all week, as long as possible. Okay. All right, welcome back. Let's take another big breath, come back to the room. I have to look at the order of service to find out what's next. Okay. So, Roger, would this be a good time for us to share our tithes, blessings, and offerings? I mean, not Roger. Is it Roger? Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's me.
Okay.
I'm ready.
And then while that's happening, I'll play another song. Okay.
Thank you, Greg. You know, many years ago, the writer of Ecclesiastes said, or wrote this, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and it will return to you after many days." And I believe what he was saying is that symbolically, he was stating a universal law. That is, when we put resources into the flow with a cheerful heart, of course, when we do that, wonderful things are going to happen. So it's now the time we joyfully share our individual abundance with the community that gives us so very much. For those watching on Facebook and YouTube, we hope you will consider supporting Unity Bay Area Houston through an online donation today through text, online donation, or a check in the mail. Our ushers are coming forward now to receive your gifts. We thank you for the many ways you support Unity Bay Area Houston. Now, together, let's anchor in and express the essence of true prosperity and say, "Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God."
Now, this is a song about sharing and about being connected. You breathe out, I breathe in. We're sharing molecules again. Oxygen and hydrogen, but do you know where your atoms have been? Parts of me were once in you. Genghis Khan and Gandhi too. Jesus Christ and dinosaurs. Princess Di and Dinah Shore. All these atoms everywhere circle back so we can share. No escaping, yes, it's true. Parts of me were once in you. My whole body, smooth and hairy, is really very temporary. Every year, a new epidermis. Maybe next year's will be firmer. There's some atom somewhere in Spain I could use back in my brain. They stay a while and then they leave, but they only fit what we conceive. All these atoms here on earth get recycled, death to birth, like some ever-changing brew. Parts of me are now in you. As hard as it might seem to be, parts of you were once a tree, once a fish in the primal soup. Something's dinner, something's poop. 15 billion years ago, the Big Bang was quite a show. All this time, and now here we we are, and parts of you were once a star. All these atoms we've collected only mean that we're connected, since we share what we're made of. Don't you think that calls for love? So take a deep breath, share some atoms. It's not like you have any choice. We'll all be part of the Adams family. Okay, one more quick thing before we leave. I want to ask you to look at that person that you were having fun with earlier. Go ahead, just look at him and think to yourself, what a lovely bunch of atoms. You know, some of those look like they used to be mine. I hope you're enjoying them. Okay, thank you all for the gift of your attention. I really appreciate it. Now, I think we're going to bless the offering. Is that yes. The exact right step, and I have a little. Okay. Now, do we just do it? Do you come forward, or do you just stay there, or it doesn't matter, does it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. We celebrate our divine abundance. We gratefully live, breathe, and experience abundance and generosity. Thank you, God, for the flow of resources through our ministry to bless the world. We rejoice as all our prayers are answered. We are grateful, blessed, and prosperous. Okay. And I think we'll close with the peace song. Different tuning. Is there anything else, Bruce? Have I missed anything? Are we good? Okay. Yeah. Tickets for this? Yeah. Oh, what about tickets for my concert? I mean, there's a big concert before that concert. Hey, I'm serious. You know, they say that 10 minutes of laughter is worth an hour of meditation. You know, if you come this afternoon for an hour and a half, you won't have to meditate for a whole week. It's going to be fun. and it's in the bookstore, right? In the bookstore starts at 12. Starts at 12. Okay. Well, for the money. What? For the money. What? I missed. Pay in the bookstore. And the concert begins at 12:30. Okay, okay, very good. All right. Thanks again. Here we go. Prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God. Okay. Love of God enfolds us. Well, okay, listen. I'll just leave you with this final thought. There were two Adams walking down the street. First Adam saw the second Adam. He said, "What's the matter? You look a little down." The second Adam said, "I lost an electron." And the first Adam said, "Oh, man, I'm sorry. Are you sure?" And he said, "I'm positive." And I just want you to remember that I'm positive that God loves it when we're silly and we now ourselves. She told me. All right? Thank you so much. Okay.